Toonami 2012. Hello Toonami faithful. I'm Blackenfist, in case you didn't know. I want to tell you a story about a block that's seen massive success and then died out with a whimper, much to the dismay of its fans. In March 1997, a block was created, an action cartoon block. It was at first a safe haven for many old action cartoons from the 80s, early 90s. It did fairly well. It was hosted by Moltar, and another creation of the creators from Space Ghost Ghost. It did fairly well, but as the block continued, it reached its peak in its absolute prime in the early 2000s as anime began to be more prominent in its programming, giving it legions of fans that, quite frankly, weren't expected. It was just a block after all. In 2004, however, unfortunately, the decline of the block started as the Toonami switched from all weekdays to only Saturdays, giving it a much more harder time slot to get its fans watching. Its destruction only was sped up when Tom 3 was discarded for an unfavorable Tom 4. Tom 4 accelerated the destruction of Toonami. But as well, at the time, Toonami was decaying in its programming as many shows didn't receive as many views as the people wanted it to, or maybe never took off as well. Toonami had its more failures when it delved into production of anime, when they produced IGPX, receiving at best mediocre ratings. IGPX died with a whimper. It came and went with a whimper. Not much of a big deal. Overall, a complete failure on Toonami's part. As more and more of its shows kept dying, they kept relying on one particular show, Naruto. And it soon became apparent that that's all Toonami really had, and no one was watching Toonami for Toonami anymore. They were just watching Toonami for Naruto. So Toonami was dead at that point. Toonami had no presence. The only presence it had was Naruto. Even though nobody was watching Toonami, now they were just watching Naruto. Naruto sped up Toonami's destruction, and until finally in 2008, it went out with one last quiet whimper. Fans were ballistic. They didn't know exactly what they had until they lost it, because they definitely scrammed to bring Toonami back. To be fair, though, many Toonami fans, before it was cancellation, they were screaming for Toonami to go back to weekdays and go back to the old days. But once it was canceled, they just wanted it back. When it was canceled, pretty many Toonami fans, even though not liking Tom 4, they respected him a little more than they did before, as he was the one who delivered the farewell message. And 4 years later, of fans screaming and absolutely outright demanding Toonami be brought back, in 2012, April 1st, their wish was semi-granted. The people at Adult Swim were testing out whether Toonami would be successful or not if it was brought back in this day and age. What better way to do this and test and have a test if not on April 1st, where they do all sorts of wacky things. They did it. They immediately afterwards, in many of their sources like Twitter, said, if you want Toonami back, let us know. So now the pressure was not on the producers, now it's on the fans. They have said, we have given you a glimpse of what we could give you. We don't know if we should invest in it. You have to tell us if you really want this or not. And the fans, now it's the pressure's on the fans. It's now the situation is reversed for the fans to do something instead of the people at the network to do something, because now they're saying, we want you to tell us what you want and if you really want this. Of course, but fans went ballistic, saying, is Toonami back? Is it back permanently? This is an insult to Toonami. Toonami shouldn't come back. Many reactions came out of the Toonami fan base. But you know what? I think that this is our culminating chance. The moment that we have been waiting for 4 years. I think we should call it Toonami 2012. Have Toonami back by the end of the year. Just, you got, now, I've seen so many people talking about writing letters, starting petitions, starting so many stuff to try to contact these people to bring Toonami back. This is your chance. The revolution is here. The pressure's on you to whether you're actually going to do that or not. I'm calling out everyone. Throughout the 4 years that I've heard so much outrage about Toonami's cancellation and Toonami's absence, it's on you now. If whether you really want Toonami back. Toonami 2012, have it back by the end of the year. That's the pressure. If you guys put enough pressure, then the pressure's back on them. Then the pressure's going to be, well, we have all this reaction, all this fan uproar. Should we bring it back? And then if they decide not to, at least we knew that we tried, and no matter what we did, they weren't going to give it to us anyway. Toonami 2012, at least have it by the end of the year. At least have one more one-time special. If that's what you fans really want. If it's what you really want. And they'll know if it's what you really want because you'll be supporting it. If you don't support it, quite frankly, we'll never come back. Have it done by the end of the year, guys. Toonami 2012. This has been Blackenfist. Stay gold.